Hey, fellow babies, welcome back to Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net. I'm Michael Pachter. You can find me on Twitter at Michael Pachter. If you are watching this real time, it's because you are a subscriber to SIFTD or because you're a subscriber to YouTube. That gets us paid. Another way to get us paid is to link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account. We have a brief video that explains how to do it. It takes about 3 seconds, and you have to re-up that every month or so. But please try to remember to do that. It costs you nothing. You're already paying for it. So all you're essentially doing is getting the free shipping part of Amazon Prime by getting us paid and getting free Pachter lovin'. So appreciate it if you can do that. Getting to today's question from Patreon from Michael Dragone. Recently, we heard rumors about the Q Lite, a PlayStation handheld that will only support remote play from a PlayStation 5. The Logitech G Cloud, Steam Deck, and Asus ROG Ally all will support cloud gaming in addition to playing native games. Assuming these rumors are true, why do you think Sony decided to go this route? Is limiting its functionality a good idea? Could Microsoft eventually respond with a handheld Xbox of its own? Sony went this route because they're cheap and they're not very smart. So that's a dangerous combination. They tried with the Vita, they tried with the PSP, which is an okay device. And the games are okay. And then they tried with the Vita, which is a really sophisticated, beautiful device. And really, the games are awesome. And in each case, Sony tried the Nintendo model of a pretty expensive handheld and not very many third-party games. And the problem Sony faced was, unlike Nintendo, it didn't have very many first-party games either. So both of its efforts failed. Nintendo makes easily 50% of the titles on its handhelds, and easily 70-80% of the revenue on its handhelds come from Nintendo first-party titles. Sony PlayStation, typically it's in the high single digits, 9-10% maybe of revenue comes from Sony first-party titles. Will that get better with their most recent acquisition? Sure, but it's not going to be 30, it'll be 15. They rely on third parties to support their consoles, and they couldn't convince third parties that the PSP or Vita was worthwhile. So supporting game streaming, you don't need separate games for the device. So I get that. I mean, that's the logic. The problem is, why do I need it? And if it's linked to my PS5, is it remote play when I'm on the road? I mean, I've read the leaks, but how do you know, right? And if it does work as remote play from on the road, why do I need a PS5? Because I'm clearly not linking the PS5 when I'm in the car. And so I think it's typical Sony. Just like PSVR 2 only works with the PS5, PS Remote Play only works with the PS5. They're using this as a reason for people to buy a PS5. The question about Microsoft going the same way, no chance. Microsoft's going exactly the opposite direction. Microsoft's making Game Pass work on PCs. You don't need an Xbox. They don't advertise that, but you don't need an Xbox. So, you can get Xbox Game Pass on PC only and not on an Xbox, and it totally works. Now they're going to Samsung Smart TVs. Eventually, they will be on any phone, and they'll be on any device that connects to the internet. And I say eventually, 2024. I mean, it's happening. It's happening soon. So Microsoft is very determined to be the games as a service provider and not worry about hardware. And the way to expand your service offering, your subscription offering, is to follow the Netflix model. Netflix doesn't require you to have any hardware. You are required to have a screen. You can watch Netflix on your phone, your iPad, your PC, your TV. And all you need is an internet connection, and not even real time. You can have an internet connection and download it to your tablet. My wife has a Wi-Fi only iPad. She downloaded some series with Rob Lowe. It was cute. I don't know, something sort of Untamed or something. She just watched it on a flight from Hawaii, and she watched 8 episodes on the flight back and was cracking up the whole time. So that is the way for Game Pass to work, that you don't even need a real-time live internet connection. So linking it to a console, dumb. And if you think about the market for streaming services. If you say the market for the streaming service is only people who own a PlayStation, then you're limiting your market opportunity to the 50 million people who bought a PlayStation, ultimately to the 100 million, 130 million, 170 million that will buy a PlayStation. I mean, I think PS2 sold like 170. So, maybe PS5 is that popular. If you make your service available on any screen, how many people have a television? Oh, a couple of billion households. Like, would you rather sell your software to 2 billion people or to 100 million people? Guess what? You're going to make more money having 2 billion people consume your software and your service. So Netflix is that way. They're looking at any screen, and they're at 200 million subscribers and growing. Microsoft wants to be that way. They're at 25 million subscribers and growing. Sony is limiting access to PS5 owners, and they're at 47 million and not growing. So no, Microsoft won't emulate that. Yes, this Q Lite will be an abject failure, complete waste of money. And by the way, the technology, if Microsoft can make Game Pass work on any screen that has an internet connection, so can Sony. I mean, it's just not that hard. It's hard, but it's off-the-shelf technology that anybody has access to. So, nope, I think it's a failure before it starts. Fortunately, they didn't name it something that rhymes with wife Vita, so Vita was terrible. What a terrible name. I really did like my Vita, but I still have it somewhere. I don't know where I put it. Thanks for joining us on Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net. If you are a Patreon patron and you're supporting SIFTD directly, thank you so much. If you are a YouTube subscriber, thank you. And if you are an Amazon Prime member and you have linked your Twitch Prime account to your Amazon Prime account, thank you. You should be getting this content real time if you do any of those things. If you have none of those options and you're stuck, just watching this stuff for free, you're getting it a week late, but that's the price you have to pay for Shane schlepping out to my house and taping this. Follow me on Twitter at Michael Pachter and tell me that I shamed you into following me, and I'll give you a shout out on Twitter. Thanks for joining us. See you next week.